3, 2, 1, go. Monday night college basketball. We're going to head to the Big 12 Conference. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. Going to take a look at the Kansas State Wildcats versus the Kansas Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. The betting market has had a little bit of movement. Still 7.5 in favor of the Kansas Jayhawks out there, but also some of the books have moved to 8 in the betting market, while the total has held steady across the board at 129. When you look at the Kansas State Wildcats, coming in as one of the hotter teams in the conference, 4 games in a row they've won, coming off a 79-70 victory over the Iowa State Cyclones as 6.5-point home favorites. Sole possession of first place in the Big 12. They hold a 1-game lead over tonight's opponent and also the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They are 8-1 in their last 9 true road games, 7-1 when hitting the road against conference opponents, but they are just 1-16 in their last 17 trips to this facility, and they are on an 0-6 against the spread run in that situation. The first meeting, they did not shoot the ball very well offensively. Not many have against Kansas. They were held to 35.1% from the floor in a 59-55 loss as 3.5-point home underdogs, and that one fell under the posted total of 127.5. They have done a lot of their best work in the month of February since the 2008-09 campaign. Of course, a lot of that came underneath a Frank Martin, who's now with the South Carolina Jayhawks. 28-6 in the month of February since 2008-09, but 2 of those losses occurred against Kansas. When you look at the Jayhawks, really struggling right now. They probably have no chance of gaining a #1 seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament. They're going to try to avoid their first 4-game losing streak since 1988-89. They suffered a 72-66 loss to the Oklahoma Sooners last time out as 5.5-point road favorites, but they still lead college basketball in field goal percentage defense and playing in front of having one of the better home court advantages at Allen Fieldhouse, turning up the pressure defensively. I think that's the main reason they get things done here, allowing opponents to shoot 36% on the season, and they've held 15 of 23 opponents to 60 points or less. 47-16 all-time on Big Monday. This is a very interesting spot for teams to play because a lot of the times they're in action on Saturday and then just have a 1-day break, and then they have to play again on Monday, of course. So 47-16 on Big Monday. They've won 19 straight at home when being featured on this ESPN broadcast, and they're a perfect 15-0 in that situation under head coach Bill Self, who, even though his team has lost 3 in a row, he liked his team's effort against Oklahoma after laying an absolute egg against the TCU Horned Frogs. Kansas State, all 4 of their losses this year have come as underdogs, and they failed to cover the spread in those 4 contests. The favorite is on a 23-7 ATS run in the series, and Kansas has won their last 27 games after playing 2 games as a road favorite. That's a unique situation to look at in the fact that a lot of the times this team's playing 2 straight road games in conference play, not necessarily non-conference play. So I expect Kansas to pick up the victory, and with the fact that the Wildcats have failed to cover the spread in their losses this year, I'm feeling comfortable in making the Kansas Jayhawks my official pick. Kansas -7.5 against the Kansas State Wildcats on Monday night. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. For any further information on this game or any other, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Grant Sports.